What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be overviewing the Zach Taylor press conference that happened on July 27th. I want to do an overview of some of the topics he brought up and some of the questions he answered. And let's get right into it. So, one of the first things he said in the interview, which I think is just a great thing to say, and I really do think it's true. He was really praising, not only the entire Bengals organization, but the fan base as well. Everyone's excited. It's been a really exciting off season with all the new additions like Dexter Lawrence, Boye Mafe, Brian Cook, Kyle Duggar, um, Jonathan Allen, Cassius Howell, Takario Davis. A lot of people. And I think Bengals fans are really excited for this season, and I can definitely say I'm excited for this season. So yeah, I think he said we have a really great fan base, which I totally believe, and yeah, just great way to start off the interview. One thing he's looking for in the players, when he's watching them play and they're getting their reps in, he needs to earn the players' trust, and I think that was a great point he brought up. You gotta earn their trust if you want to be playing and starting in games, and that's something that's very important that Zach Taylor brought up is earning trust. The players are earning trust with the coaching staff, himself, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, earning your trust to be able to play in games. He also talked about with the new additions of the Bengals defense, they're bringing in a lot of high-level talent and also leadership from these newly added players. And yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot of talent in these new additions. Dexter Lawrence, one of the best defensive linemen in the league. He weighs like 330 pounds, I believe. He's just a monster of a player. Boye Mafe had 9 sacks in his second season. Won the Super Bowl at the Seahawks. Kyle Duggar, very experienced veteran, played for the Patriots and Steelers. The Patriots paid him $58 million, so he's good if a team is paying him that much. And just Brian Cook won 2 Super Bowls with the Chiefs. Just a very amazing leader. Just great overall talent, great leadership from these players. Some of them are veterans, which make great leaders. And yeah. One of the questions he was asked was this offseason was definitely highlighted by what happened with the defense. But he said, what could the offense improve on this offseason? And I think Zach Taylor brought up a really good point of protecting the ball. The Bengals had a lot of offensive turnovers. Oh my God, I'm blanking out his name, but Jake Browning. Great. He was a great backup quarterback in the not last season, but 2 seasons ago. Great backup player while Burrow was injured, but this season he had a lot of turnovers, and that brought the Bengals 3 straight losses, I believe. So they started off 2-0, and then they were 2-3, and then they got Joe Flacco. But yeah, Jake Browning contributed to a lot of turnovers, and it's just something they need to work on. I believe Jake Browning's now in the Bucks. I'm pretty sure he's on the Bucks now. But yeah, protecting the ball, a lot of fumbles, a lot of turnovers. Just need to clean that up. A lot of talked about Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has very high expectations, not only for himself but for the whole team. I think he's been very vocal. A lot of players have been talking about how vocal Joe Burrow has been this offseason. And, Joe Burrow is making he said it himself, he's making a sense of urgency for this team because he's eager to win the Super Bowl. And by bringing urgency, that's going to make people be like, oh, okay, we got to go. This is our time. This is our chance. This is probably one of the most talented rosters we've had in a while. So we got to make this count. And I think Joe Burrow has been a great leader. He's made his presence known, putting in a lot of great effort. Just a great role model and great leader. Um, the Bears have a joint practice, or the Bengals have a joint practice with the Bears this season. Um, I believe they had a joint practice with the Bears 2 seasons ago in Chicago, but now the Bears are coming over here for a joint practice, and the interviewer asked, like, why, since we didn't do it last season, he said, why did you decide to do a joint practice this season? And Zach Taylor just said, like, he trusts the Bears staff. They're willing to come to Cincinnati, and just willing to have a joint practice. So I think it's great that the Cincinnati Bengals are exposing themselves to new teams and practicing with them. And I think it's just a great decision. He was praising Joe Flacco for, getting traded so quickly and then hopping right into games. That's not an easy thing to do for a quarterback. But Joe Flacco had a great performance in those games he played. Probably his best game was against the Bengals vs. Steelers Thursday Night Football game. That game was probably the best game I watched all season. And I'll be honest, before the half, I was really tired and I was kind of falling asleep. The Bengals were losing like 10-3, something like that. And then the Bengals, they scored a touchdown and I just woke up all of a sudden. And then I was super invested for the rest of the game. And, I believe Jamar Chase had like 19 receptions or something like that. And Joe Flacco threw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. It was just an amazing performance by Joe Flacco. And that's not easy for someone who came right from Cleveland to Cincinnati in a short amount of time. Have to adjust to the playing style, adjust to the plays. And it's just, if anyone could do it, it could be Joe Flacco. He's a great veteran player, won a Super Bowl with the Ravens. Just a great quarterback, and they love him so much that they decided to sign him to a 1-year contract. He's really excited to see what Dexter Lawrence can do for this team. So am I. I think Dexter Lawrence is super happy to be on this team, and I am really excited to see what he can do. And so is Zach Taylor. He enjoys him not only as a player but as a human being. Very great guy. He signed with the Bengals on Sunday, and then literally the next day he started practicing, and he did not miss a single practice from then on out. And just great discipline by Dexter Lawrence. There's a lot of depth in the D-line, so players will get a lot of young players, and just many different players will get opportunities to play. Especially, unfortunately, B.J. Hill is injured, so he is not going to be playing right now. I think he'll definitely be playing in the regular season, but he's definitely going to be sitting out training camp. Actually, I don't know if he's sitting out all of training camp, but definitely some of training camp, which is just a huge bummer. I'm not disappointed in BJ Hill. I'm just disappointed and sad that it happened. But I'm probably gonna make a video about just overviewing training camp. So more to that in the next video, or the next few videos. But Brian Cook bringing a lot of energy. He grew up in Cincinnati, so it probably means a lot to him to be playing for the Bengals. Despite him already winning 2 Super Bowls, he's still super energetic, still super locked in, focused. Even though he's had so much success, he wants more, and he wants it with the Bengals, and he's gonna be a great leader. Yeah. And last but not least, a bit of a lighter topic, nice topic. Zach Taylor took his family to Ireland for a vacation, which was really nice. Great to it's great to be incredibly focused on football, but it's also nice to take some time off for yourself and for your family, and that's super important for your mental health and just your well-being and just being a loving person. So yeah, that's gonna end the video today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be making a few more interview videos. I actually kind of enjoy making these videos. I just like giving recaps of what's going on. I will be doing a recap of day 1 of training camp. A lot of crazy stuff happening, And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.